Well, there has been a lot of talk about the cost of e-mountain bikes in recent weeks, and the way that you buy your e-mountain bike will have an effect on the cost. Now, historically, you'd have simply gone down to your local bike shop, chosen your size and your colour, given them the cash, stuck it in the car and hit the trails. But today, we're going to be looking at the direct sales way of buying your e-mountain bike. Direct sales e-mountain bikes then are, as it says on the tin, you buy them direct from the manufacturer, right, Chris?
Yeah, you go online, you choose your colour, you choose your battery option, all those different checklists, get it done, order it, and it comes direct from the factory to your front door in a box, and all that's left to do is you get the spanners out and get cracking and get out and hit the trails. Pretty simple, really.
So why does a direct sales mountain bike differ from one which you buy from your bike shop? Well, it's pretty simple, really. As Chris mentioned, the bike comes from the manufacturer to your doorstep and cuts out that chain of events in the middle, either it be the distributor or the bike shop. And very often, historically at least, some of the prices have been less expensive. Many people are worried about how to build their bike, of course, because traditionally you'd get the shop to set that up for you, your seat height and angle, your handlebars and your gears all done. But direct sales is a little more different. There is some involvement by you yourself, but it's not too difficult, Chris, is it?
No, in fact, a lot of the manufacturers actually supply the tools with the bike. In fact, Canyon supply a dry bag, and in that it's got a torque wrench, all the different Allen keys, and it's even got some grease in there, and of course the instructions too. And if you do struggle, you can possibly sweet talk your bike shop into building that bike for you, probably at a price, because they won't be that stoked that you haven't bought a bike from them, but they will build it, I'd imagine.
Chris, it's not actually called grease, is it? It's called some kind of paste, is it? It's pink and it comes in a packet.
Gripper paste, is it maybe? I don't know.
Gripper paste?
Possibly.
Doesn't it blow your mind though how simple it is? I mean, I recently built up a Canyon Torque. It landed on the doorstep. DHL or DPD man, so signed here, wheeled it in the garden, opened the top. I mean, the hardest thing is possibly undoing the little sort of plastic locks on the outside of the box. And then you open the box and you've got like a little box inside there, which has got an instruction manual, which you throw away, obviously. And you just start tearing the bike open. But you've got a set of tools there. And when I did the Canyon Torque, all I had to do was put the handlebars in and the front wheel. I used one 5mm Allen key.
Really?
I swear, that's all I used to get the bike together. I mean, you've done it yourself, right?
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, how easy it is. And the tools that they provide are actually pretty good quality. I've stuck some of them in my riding pack. But as you mentioned, I think one thing to keep from your direct sales bike can be the box, because if any problems arise, you're going to need something to stick that in should you want any warranty or work carried out on that bike. And I think that's something to remember. They go shredding that box to pieces. You need to keep it pretty safe.
Well, I actually use the box to keep sort of cushions, which I normally use outside in summer and all kind of stuff. But do you know what? I've never actually used a torque wrench until I got a direct sales bike to the doorstep. But yeah, pretty amazing. Now, obviously, Chris, some people will worry about the fact that, you know, you can't test a direct sales bike, but that's totally untrue, because brands such as YT and Canyon, I have to say that YT and Canyon are actually pioneers in the field of direct sales, and they now have demo events, you know, all over the world where you can try every model, size, and, you know, setup combination, right?
Yeah, and I think it was quite good with these bikes, as they're quite popular usually. So if you have got a question about sizing, you usually get online, go on social media, ask that question, and chances are you're going to get a good answer there too, as well as contacting the manufacturers.
So many of you might be, like I said, a lot been chat about the price of mountain bikes recently, and direct sales, historically at least, have been slightly less expensive than the bikes you buy from your local bike shop. That's not quite as true as it was maybe 6, 7, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you can get a wide range, and they do, I would say, Chris, they still are marginally cheaper than what you get from a local bike shop, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the spec as well is something to consider. If you're looking at the spec list, compare them side by side from, say, a bike that you will get from a bike shop to a direct sales bike, and the chances are that spec list will be slightly better.
Yeah, so I guess the responsibility is on you, the buyer, to go and do some homework, do some research, compare like for like on the website. Loads of great examples, though, out there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Canyon and YT are pioneers in this field, and they do have a very comprehensive range of e-mountain bikes. Actually, I think Canyon have now got more electric bikes than they have non-e-bikes, have they?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you include all the urban range that they've done and the gravel e-bikes and all that e-road bikes, definitely, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be up there, if not more. As you say, they were the pioneers, so a good line up there.
Yeah. So, like I said, then you've got a brand like Y2, you've got the Decoy. So it's up to you to choose, do you want the Decoy in 27.5 or 29? Like Chris says, there's the sizing to have a look on the manufacturer's websites. Obviously, the sizing does vary from brand to brand. So again, do your homework. We've made loads of size videos here on EMBN for you to check out. But again, the spec, Chris, Radon, another great one in the mix, because, you do tend to find a lot of direct sales bikes do use the brands such as Bosch and Shimano, right? Yeah,
the Radon Render, that comes with a Bosch performance line, the Bosch Generation 4 motor on it, a 625 watt-hour battery, and that carbon front end on it, and that base model bike is €4,249, so crazy value there.
It's crazy, and probably you could argue actually that one of the least expensive high-spec bikes in the last 5 years has definitely been the Vitus. Now, the Vitus e-Summit, what a bike. But folks, direct sales is certainly one option that you should check out if you're buying your first e-mountain bike, or indeed any e-mountain bike. So, there are options out there when it comes to prices for sure, right, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. It's a great way of saving money. Lots of different options out there, so get online and get yourself a banging deal. Now, coming up this week on EMBN, we have a great week of content as always. On Friday, Steve has done a great video about all the future tech about motors.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. We talk about plastic motors, we talk about high-powered motors, low-powered motors, and also SUVs as well, which is an interesting topic.
And on Sunday, we've got the Growler Hour. We've got a Power Hour gone in 60 minutes. Sounds like an interesting one.
I didn't realise I called it Growler Hour, Chris. I was thinking about more like the Ultimate Hour. But there's simply so many ways that you can use an hour on an e-mountain bike. And we're starting things off with my look at an hour in the hills. And then on Monday, a very important subject with e-mountain bikes, how to set your seat height, or how to set your seat height continuously whilst on a ride.
Right, it's time for some comments on the recent videos we've done here on EMBN, and we've had a lot of feedback from the recent release of the new Levo video that we did. First comment is coming in from CHN. The best improvement would be a lower price.
Yeah, obviously, we all agree with you on this. And there's been lots of comments on the price of e-mountain bikes. And yes, we totally agree. What I would say is, I can go to my local pub, pint of beer is £3.60. You can go to London, pint of beer is £9.60. The amount of money we spend on food and fuel, it's, we're with you guys, we don't disagree, but it's a hard one, right? It's a hard one. Like we did say in the video, there's, I genuinely would be more concerned that road bikes and mountain bikes, the price of those is rising as well. So it's a huge, it's not really something which we could have covered in the video of the Levo is about the Levo, it's about the tech on there, and the pricing is a whole new subject altogether. Definitely. Moving the subject on, because we certainly will return to this, is the rodent hitman. Your Stig is an excellent rider. Chris, who was that guy on the Levo?
I've no idea. Wasn't it one of the cameramen, or was it some random guy from the car park? Whoever it was pretty good rider, pretty on it, nice shape, stylish.
He wasn't bad, was he? You were moving house, I was having my injection, and meanwhile...
So to get a stand-in.
Sean Knight, it's on the fly. I don't know what on the fly means. Sean Knight, it's on the fly because you can increase the power of any mode on the fly by holding the plus or minus. What I was trying to get at, what does on the fly actually mean?
I think it means just on the move, doesn't it? So you don't have to stand still and do something. It means that you can adjust it on the move, which is pretty cool, because usually you have to log into the app and do all the different swiping of different power settings.
Why is it fly? Why is it fly? Why is it on the fly?
Don't know,
why is it not like on the hoof, or what is it called?
On the move.
Where does it come from?
On the crank.
Anyhow,
I don't know.
we're getting carried away with the comments. Guys, thanks for all your involvement on our videos. It's really good to get a different perspective on things. And yeah, we'll continue to have this discussion about price for sure.
Right, it's time for some fails of the week, and we've got 2 really good entries. And kicking things off, first up, we've got Owen here on his Cube Stereo 120.
On,
He's up in Queen's Park in Wakefield. It's his first time attempting a 1-footer and couldn't bail in time. So getting a bit out of shape. Looks like a nasty landing, but got out of that pretty easily, actually. Next, we've got Ian here, looking pretty mashed up, actually. He's had a bit of a crash on one of the hills in the distance on his Merida in Loch Leven in Fife. Popping 4 of his quad tendons, rupturing 3 of them, and now is into a 12-week recovery process with that and a huge scar to prove it. It looks like a hell of a spot, but sorry to hear about your crash. But keep all those entries coming into us here on the show. Use the upload service and get involved.
I gotta say, folks, it really makes me smile when I see the Where in the World submissions every week, and especially when they come from hot countries. And this week's Where in the World section is starting off with Andreas out in Cyprus and his Cone Remote. Nice bit of colour there, Andreas. Followed by something, I think this is Scottish, Chris. This is Ryan and his Decathlon Stylus. Yep. Fantastic value bike there. And look at that background, stunning.
Crazy, isn't it?
But then we got something a bit more beach-like, haven't it?
Bit of you that, I think, Steve. Some big rock slabs. So this is Tom. He's got a Merida E160 out in Avoca in New South Wales, Australia. Really new lines and features to be found along this rocky coastline. I could see you crawling all over that on your e-bike, Steve.
But this shot here from Rodolfo in São José de Campos in Sao Paulo, that is probably one of the all-time Where in the World submissions for sure.
It's cool, isn't
he's, on a Turbo Lever Comp 2020. I mean, look at that. It just shows, it's not just out in the middle of nowhere that e-bikes are great for. You've got, got an urban fringe area there, which
Perfect.
That's great. I just love that shot.
It's a cool shot, isn't it?
I absolutely love it.
Mixing
it's
the woods
cool.
to city. It's almost like right on the line, splits the shot in half. As you say, one of the best entries I think we've had.
Yeah, and look at this, Chris, from Hobart in Tasmania.
Way up in the hills. So this is Chris. He's got a Specialized Turbo Levo Comp. Top of the Mihan range after a dusty climb. And it looks like you've done a massive climb there. Look how small those houses are in the background. And
our final submission this week in Where in the World is something pretty mellow. This is John, and he joined Trans-Essex Pro out in Cromwell. Where's Cromwell? From Cromwell to Clyde. I guess that must be in the UK then, but it looks...
It must be. It looks like somewhere
look
abroad.
Look how hot it looks.
Clear blue sky, nice blue lake, and a nice shot as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
loving it.
Folks, love your inspiration. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to get stuck in next week.
Right, it is time for our favourite part of the show, the Bike Vault, to see if you guys are getting a nice or super nice. What we got first, Steve?
We have got a Commencal Metapower TR from Paul in Los Angeles, California. Paul, it's the post. It's the post. The post is taking the attention there of an otherwise beautiful bike, and I'm afraid it's a nice. Meanwhile, top of Shepherd's Hill Recreation Park in Adelaide, South Australia. This is Paul's Focus Jam Squared. There's only one way. There's only one way you can go with that photograph, Chris.
Nice, super nice. And I mean, that's a moody shot as well. We'll check this one out from Robert here. He's got a white E150. He's out in Cork, been off the e-mountain bike for the last 12 months. Upgraded a few bits and he's back on it, and I think that has got to be a nice shot.
It is nice, and the next one's a nice shot too. This is Ron and his Specialized Lever Expert in Whiteneye. I'm guessing. I mean, it's almost super nice, isn't it? Because
I would give that super nice. I think there's all tangible colours.
All right then.
And this one here from Jordan, Vitus E Summer. He's out on the River Derwent in Workington, Cumbria.
Yeah, he's
nice chilled ride.
Yeah, it's nice. Wouldn't you like to
Working in Workington?
Wouldn't you like to ride down that weir there?
I don't know. I think it's probably pretty deep at the bottom.
Yeah, it's a nice shot. And Travis,
Nice shot.
Travis has joined Trans E in, is that NJ? Is that New Jersey? I don't know. What do you reckon? I love the water. It's quite.
I do love the water in that.
Love iron in that water, by the looks of it. Chris, I mean, look, I like the fact that the colour of the bike goes with the colour of the water.
I'm going to give him a super nice. I think for getting wet feet, putting that bike in there, it's got to be.
Now, the next shot is from Mark in a location which I have spent countless days of my life. Cwmgwrach Forestry in South Wales. I like the comment, up the forestry during them. It says he's up the forestry doing them boring fire roads. It's a beautiful bike. How could a South Wales shot be otherwise than super nice, right?
Check this one out then from Scott with a Frey M600 bike. We don't see too much on the show, but it's quite a nice looking bike. Liking the look of that. He's in Sherwood Forest in Nottingham in the UK, out for a solo ride.
Nice.
It's a nice shot, isn't it, for sure? Nice background. Be better if it's in the woods, I think, for that one.
Yeah, and finally, riding the Iron Goat Trails at Horse Trail System with the red mountain in the background is Gavin and his 2021 Levo. Gavin, thanks for sending the shot in. However, it is a super nice shot. Definitely. Punchy.
Right, and time for bike of the week. What is going to take it for this week, Steve? And just going back through them now.
How do you reckon?
I'm really liking that autumnal shot with the Levo SL.
You can keep your autumn. It's summer. I'm liking the Shepherd's Hill Focus, but I'm also liking the, the Arizona shot too. It's but for a shot that shows off the bike, it's got to be the Focus, surely.
Yeah, I think that's it. With that moody sky in the background, there's a bit of processing going on that shot. What do you think?
Who doesn't process their shots these days, eh?
True, but that is a great shot.
It's it.
Taking bike of the week, I think. What do you think, Steve?
It's in focus, and I can just see the city in the background there, which is great. Yeah. I think we've definitely got a good sort of urban rural theme going on here this week's vault. Love it. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, keep those entries coming in, and it might be you getting a nice or super nice or maybe bike of the week if you're lucky. But that's it for this week's show. Let us know what you think about direct sales and everything we've got in this week's show. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN, and we shall see you next week. Cheers.